What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, the rack finally came in, and man, have I had a struggle with FedEx. And granted, I know it was 140 pounds, but it has been delayed. It was out for delivery multiple days. I had to open a case, all this stuff, but the rack is finally here. Now, we haven't met our September 1st date, which is a real bummer, but we're moving along really well. Just a few odd and ends left to do. So the rack is here. So today we're gonna get the rack built and then give you guys an update on where we stand with the shed. Where are my crypto miners at? Listen up. Finding an exchange to liquidate, convert, and trade your cryptocurrency without KYC is becoming rare in the United States. As a crypto miner, we value our privacy and staying anonymous, while the team at BYDify has you covered. BYDify supports some of my favorite mineable coins like Kaspa, Flux, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and many more. How many more? Let's just say there are 422 different options for cryptocurrency on BYDify and growing every day. Ready for this? BYDify understands the need as a miner to off-ramp your crypto for fiat to cover operating expenses. Well, BYDify has you covered there too. Finally, if you're an avid trader, BYDify has loads of features like a robust exchange, spot trading, derivatives, and loads more. Check out the link in the video description for BYDify and get started by claiming your welcome rewards of 2,888 USDT today. All right, so let's take a look. So I got the rack over here. You can see all of our little pieces, decent size, but it shouldn't be too bad to put together. Very similar to the rack I currently have. It's actually made by this company here, Iron Ton 4-tier industrial rack. Here's the item number if you guys are interested, and I'll put a link directly down below. So here's where the rack's gonna go. You guys are gonna see me building it here in just a few seconds, just sped up. We're gonna put it right in the middle. So it's not gonna fill this whole thing. We actually planned ahead. We're gonna put the racks probably gonna start about here to give us room to go through. And it's going to kind of go to about here, and then it'll go up and we'll still have some clearance up above. And you might be like, well, why didn't you fill multiple racks in here and everything like that? Well, we're only gonna have 150 amps coming from the house. So there's only so many ASICs you can put on 150 amps that we have over here on each of our PDUs. Because of the fact that we're running ASICs, we're really only gonna run 2 ASICs pretty much on each of these, give or take. Some may be low power mode, might be able to fit more. So, you know, we'll really have to see how we make out, but we don't need that much space. This shed is just so much bigger than mine. On another note, we're gonna be using this guy right here. So huge shout out to the team over at Crypto Miner Bros. They sent us over this brand new Cannan. It's a 110 terahash Bitcoin ASIC miner. And well, we're gonna be using it as our guinea pig today. We're gonna open it up. I haven't seen it yet. And then we're going to actually be using it to measure with our racking for the height of our racks. Just got it in, super excited to take a look at it. And I was like, well, let's use it as a little template to let us know how much room we need between all the racks. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, check this out. So we don't hear about Avalon too often, but this is the Avalon Miner 1346 newer unit of the 13 series that just came out not too long ago. This is the 110 terahash unit, quite different than what we're used to, you know, especially on my channel. I've never dealt with these types of models, always been really Bitmain and Gold Shell. So I'm excited to get my hands on this. I did go ahead and measure it to give me an idea on height. Man, those crickets are loud. It's about 12 inches high and right about 7 inches in width. So that'll give me an idea as to, okay, when I'm laying out these racks here, I want to make sure that, you know, we'll lay it out to make sure we have more than enough when it comes down to our height here. And I decided this is going to be one of my first units that we will plug in. It won't be today, unfortunately. We don't have power quite yet. It does use a C19 to C20, so that's not a problem. We're good to go. We got plenty of those ordered. And check this out. It's got a little on and off switch there, which is nice. We got all a little different style of our fan plugs there, and then our Ethernet and our status lights. All right, let's get this rack built. All right, guys, let's take a look. So PSA, complete amateur hour there. I learned so much and made so many mistakes with that rack. Yeah, it was a mess, but here we are. We have our Avalon miner 1346 110 terahash. Check it out, plenty of room in there. So what we did is we ended up doing about 4 of these spaces between, which gave us plenty of room, as you guys can see. And I don't think we'll ever use up all these racks here, but it turned out really, really well. Now, I put it together kind of ass backwards. I realized I really should have done the beam with the supports separate before I went ahead and attached them to these posts, because these little these nuts were such a pain in the butt trying to get down inside here. So probably should have read the directions a little bit better than I did, but it has turned out really, really nice. I did go ahead, bolt it to the floor as well. Doesn't need to be insane, but you know, the nice thing is then it's not toppling over. If I grab it and shake it, it's not really going anywhere, which is nice. All the weight's going to be rather centered in this unit, which will work out really well. So yeah, so most likely what I'm going to be doing is tomorrow, and it'll be just jumping ahead in the video, is I want to come out and I want to patch my Ethernet and run up, through, and down to the rack, and then probably come down on the post and then run across here and almost create little bays for this entire thing. You know, is it overkill? 100%. But what I'll end up doing, I'll make like a little bay here, have Ethernet, and then power. And the nice thing is about power is, dude, we got 25-foot cables here. We have a few different types. So the first one here is, it's a 25-foot C19 to C20. So our Avalon will use that. And then we have 25-foot here of C13 to C14, guys. These are all from Infinite Cables. So the nice thing is they're gonna come out of the PDUs up, and then I'll have to decide how I want to drop them in. I might even put a few of these U hooks in the middle so that I can come in and go down and drop directly down to the rack. I'm going to figure that out here tomorrow, which I'll do actually in today's video, which will work out really, really well. Yeah, other than that, the shed is coming along really, really well. This will pretty much, the Ethernet and the power dropping in will be the last thing in the shed, and the shed is pretty much done, other than the electrician buttoning up and finishing up everything here. So let's jump ahead to tomorrow now. All right, guys, we are on to the next day. Just wrapping up. It is crazy hot out right now. It's about 95 outside, so it's definitely gotten humid in here. You can see on our intake wall, it says 93 Fahrenheit. For our other folks, 34C. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I've kind of mapped things out, and I'll explain in a minute. But as you guys can see, we have our cables. We then actually kind of tracked them all across the bottom here. Sorry, there's like a police car or fire whistles going off in the background. But you can see we've tracked them all over. That's an organized mess, I promise. We have them all laid out here. Kind of created like bays, what I called them, I guess yesterday or in this video, bays here for those, and then one last one up here. So we're actually missing a cable here. I need to order a C19 to C20 for there, so I need to get that ordered, try to get that in as soon as I can, because I want to hold off on piping all these cables over. I'll show that to you guys in a minute. But what I decided to do, all right, so I made a spreadsheet here, and it kind of includes information regarding PDU, shelf, make, model, plugs, hash rate, the full hash rate listed on the website versus at the wall. I need to test each one. Low power mode listed on the website if it supports it, and at the wall, serial number, IP, username, and password. And then I've gone ahead and put in as much information as I have right now. And then down below here, we have our breakers, 530 amp, 240 volts. The max on that is 7,200, and at 80% is 5,760. Now, a few people have reached out to me and said you can push that up to 90 versus 80% if you have the proper wiring, the gauges, things like that. So I'd love to get some of your opinions, guys. Can I push this? And then over here, my PDUs, the watts being used, so I can track how much as I plan this out. But let's go ahead and take a look at rack 1. So at rack 1, at the very bottom here, we have C13, C14s, and then one C19, C20. We're going to do an E9 Pro, E9 Pro, and KD Max. Now jumping on to rack number 2. All right, we have a S19J Pro Plus 117 terahash, an S19J XP, it's 151 terahash. It's actually on its way from Bitmain, so I'm excited about that. It's a brand new unit, they just came out. And then finally on the end, I'm actually gonna take this Avalon, which this is the one I got from Crypto Miner Bros, the Avalon Miner 1346. That's a 110 terahash Bitcoin miner. That's going to go right here. It uses that C19 plug that's going to go here. Now let's talk about our row right here. So row number 3. So on row 3, we have 1, 2, 3 of the S19J Pro 100 terahash units. Those are those 3 that I've been experimenting with and doing the different pull testings on. All 3 of those use the C13 to C14. And then finally up top here, this is just a placeholder I'm waiting for. I need to get it ordered from Infinite Cables, will be a C19 to C20. And what is going to be here is my KD Lite ASIC. That thing's running right now in my current shed. I didn't run it for the longest time. So that's going to be all of my full-size ASICs that I'll be running here in the shed. If you go off of their list, that's 28,132. Now what I have available at the 80% rule is the 28,800. So a little bit of fluff there. It's so crazy how 150 amps gets eaten up so quickly, and that's if we stay at the 80% rule. As I said, I'm asking you guys, the community, your thoughts on it. I'd love for some electricians to weigh in. Some things to consider is the gauge of our cables here, as well as our copper bus bar here, all that types of stuff. So love your weigh in. It's about 2:30 today. It is boiling hot. I've been sweating like crazy. I'm just about out of water. And I'm going to come out tomorrow, and I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to run all of my Ethernet over. I think what I'm going to do is do something like I did here, but over here. Run my Ethernet down and then track it over to each of these units here. With all that mess is an organized mess, I promise. And I'm waiting for that last cable to come in. But what's going to happen is we're going to come, look at this, look at all that cable. It's going to come up and go into that hoop, into this hoop, go over the support bar, into that one, into that one, into this one, come down, and then feed into each of the individual PDUs. Any of the excess, I think I'm going to do one massive loop right here to store all that excess, because these were 25-foot cables, and I got some are a little extra, some are, will be just at length, but I wanted to have more than enough cable, which will work out nicely. So my goal is tomorrow to come out and do the Ethernet. I'll do a separate video update on that for you guys. But yeah, I'm excited. It's coming along good. I'm hoping sometime in the next 2 weeks we will have power, and our Ethernet will be plugged into the house, and guys will be up and mining. I'm waiting till the day that is done. I'm gonna do a full update video on taking everything out of my other shed, blowing it out, cleaning it, inventorying it, because as I talked about, I want to get serial numbers on everything, and bringing that over. Can't wait. I cannot wait for that video. It's going to be so much fun to get everything racked and powered up inside here. All right, guys, that's it. If you guys want an update as to when my next video drops for my shed with an update, click that bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.